What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, yesterday was May the 4th, today is Revenge of the 5th, and tomorrow is May the 6th. So in honor of these Star Wars holidays, we're going to be covering a Star Wars line, a new line that's just being picked up by Marvel, and that's Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters issue number 1. More of an issue number 0, to be honest. This is a prelude. Now, this is written by Charles Soule, art is by Steve McNiven, and cover is by the same. And this story picks us up with the notorious bounty hunter known as Boba Fett. He's finally landed his greatest prize yet, Han Solo. Han Solo frozen in carbonite. Boba Fett is trying to bring him back to Tatooine to collect the massive bounty that's been placed on Solo's head by JABBA the Hutt. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we dive into this issue, we're brought onto Fett's ship. We're brought onto Slave. Now right now, he is currently transporting Han Solo across deep space. And as they're traveling, Boba Fett, he gets in contact with the Hutts back on Tatooine and lets them know that he's on the way, that he is in carbonite, and he is still alive. Now, in the midst of this conversation, this is when an alarm starts going off, and Fett disconnects the comms that he has going, and he starts diagnosing what's wrong with Han Solo's carbonite. And as he's sitting here tinkering with it, he's seeing Han Solo slowly come out of carbonite. It's slowly unfreezing. And so, Boba Fett, he has to stop. He has to find somewhere to repair this because he doesn't have the technical know-how to be able to fix this. And that's what brings him to the smuggler's moon. And on the smuggler's moon, he meets up with Doc Ragan. And the Doc, he lets him know, I can stabilize him. It's just going to take a little time. It's going to take a little bit of tinkering, but he also wants money up front. He knows how Boba Fett operates, and he's not trying to get scammed here. He's not trying to get scammed out of some credits. So he wants it all up front. And Boba Fett lets him know that he doesn't have it. But he does let him know that this is Han Solo, and that once he delivers him to Jabba, he can pay him double his usual fee. The only issue is that Han Solo needs to be alive to be able to collect the bounty. But the Doc's not having it. He just doesn't work on credit. He's not going to do it. He's not about it. And he tells him, cash up front. Or you can do me a favor. Because Nar Kanji has a pit warrior. A warrior that goes by the name of Weirman Lichter. An extremely skilled fighter. And the Doc kind of has a grudge against her. Because she killed a fighter that he once sponsored. Cost him a crap ton of money. And so this is his kind of revenge. He's always wanted her dead. But she's too valuable to the Hutts. So they keep her protected. Now Boba Fett, this isn't something he wants to get entangled with. He definitely doesn't want to get entangled with the Kanji Hutts. But at the end of the day, this really is his only option. Because if he doesn't get Han Solo back there in carbonite alive, he's going to have some more Hutts to deal with. Now, he can't go outright and kill her. He would never be able to get past all of the guards, literally thousands of guards that these guys have, and henchmen and so on and so forth. But she's a fighter, and she fights in the pits. So it's kind of a perfect setup. He can sign up for the fights, and he can kill her there, and it's kind of good to go. But Fett, he knows it's not going to be that simple. The Kanji Hutts, regardless, they're going to know either way. The armor is a dead giveaway. But this is when Doc lets him know that he has some nano spray paint, so he can kind of make himself whoever he wants to be. And so very, very reluctantly, Boba Fett, he agrees to this. He agrees to this even after finding out that she right now is the reigning champion in the pits. Nobody's been able to beat her up to this point. And this is where we see Boba go up to the event, to the stadium, if you will, and he adds his name to the entry. And this is where we see Boba Fett completely blacked out Bexar armor. And his fight name, paying homage to his father, is Django. And this is where we pick up with his first fight. Everybody places their bets, and we see the Bexar brawler making his way out to the arena. In his first fight, he completely dominates. In his second fight, domination. In his third fight, completely slaughters them. There is nobody up to this point that has been able to take on the Bexar Berserker. he is literally cleaning house with every single warrior. And after a little time, he's pretty much defeated everybody. And he has one last fight against her. Now, most people take the prize money and just leave, because fighting against her is just suicide in most of the fighters' opinions. But Boba Fett, he has to do this. He has no other option. He has to kill her. And then that's what picks us up in the arena. And this is their main event. And the odds are definitely not in the favor of Boba Fett, because Lictor, she's like a spider hybrid. And the arena is completely full of webs. So this is like home turf for her. She has home field advantage. And Boba Fett, he's going to have a fight. And without wasting any time, these two, they start battling. Boba Fett taking off on his jump pack, and dual blasters just blasting away. And he's holding his own. He's doing really well in this fight, until she shoots a web and gets his jetpack and throws him to the ground, essentially taking away his ability to fly. His mobility has dropped drastically, and she makes her attack from the air. Jumping on top of him, he's able to cut one of her legs, but gets another leg into his shoulder. And this is where Boba Fett does a type of Hail Mary pass, activates his jetpack, and we see it wrapped around the web just start flying in circles, literally burning everything, and the rock they are on goes crumbling down to the ground. All the way down, and we see Lictor smashed like a bug under a rock. And Boba Fett has won. He is victorious and he is the champion. And this is where we see him covered in alien blood, going to collect his reward, to get his credits. But this is when he's met by the Hutt's goons, and they're kind of letting him know, we had a lot of money running on that fight for you to die, and since you didn't die, you now owe us that money, and if you don't give us that money, we're gonna kill you. Or you have a second option, you can leave all the credits that you would have gotten in this fight, and you can walk away. Now Boba Fett, he could fight these guys. He could kill them and take off with his credits, but then he would have yet another vendetta against him, and that's just not something that he's willing to do. So he chooses to not fight this battle. He walks away from it. He lets them keep the credits and he takes off. He goes back to the dock. Now, before Boba Fett is able to get there, we see Doc with his hands up, and somebody takes a blaster and shoots him right through the chest, because some other bounty hunters have gotten wind that Han Solo was here, and they have come to claim and steal Boba Fett's bounty. And this is when Boba Fett arrives, coming around the corner, seeing that there was some kind of blaster shots. He goes inside only to see that Doc is dead, and Han Solo, he is absolutely nowhere to be found. And simultaneously, he gets a call from JABBA the Hutt, just asking where Han Solo is, if he's on mission, if he's on course. And, you know, right now he's having to stall. He's having to buy some time, because right now he's going to have to hunt down some bounty hunters. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I've never been a huge, giant Boba Fett fan. The Mandalorian really did bring some redemption for me. And I'm super excited for the next season to see Boba Fett more as like a gangster taking over for the Hutts. But jumping into this comic, it's a lot of fun. You know, it's the kind of in-between stories that so many of us fans want. You know, in the movies, it goes from one time to another, and it skips these important details. They're just so full of adventure, and you can really expand and do whatever you want with these stories, within the parameters of canon, of course. But yeah, I'm really excited about this line. It's definitely something we're going to continue keeping up with. So if you like this video and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, make sure that you don't miss any of the notifications, because we're going to be covering Star Wars, we're going to be covering all of the Marvel stuff, we're going to be covering DC, we got indie comics. Check it all out. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And with that being said, until the next breakdown.